Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal Lee and welcome to Crystal Lee's channel. Let me quickly break it down what we do on this channel. We have 3 videos that we post every week. One is a Moody Monday where you truly never know what you're gonna get from me, but I am a jack of all trades and I want to express that through this channel. And so Moody Monday is when you'll get any video about anything from me, but every Monday you get a video. On Wednesdays, hi, welcome to Wednesdays, we do What We Reading Wednesdays when we talk about books that we've read, want to read, hate, like. We either read them together or we talk about them together. And then on Van Life Fridays, I post videos about my alternative lifestyle living in my 91 Chevrolet G20 van. Ben. Everyone say hi to Ben. If any of that is interesting to you and if you like this video, then subscribe to the community. I want to build this community to be full of people coming back into playing in their lives after some dark stuff has happened. I want this to be a place of peace and playfulness. And if you want to join, just hit subscribe so you can see me every week on purpose. If not, you'll see me by accident. I'm a pop up either way. For every one book I finish, I add 5 more to my TBR. There's just so many good books to read. And in this video, we'll be talking about The Artist's Way. I have this book on my 2025 personal curriculum that I built for myself to have topics that I want to learn on my own. And this is one of them. It's for creative expression and evolution, and a spiritual path to higher creativity. It's been a book that I read before, but I kind of want to lock in and really do it. And I want to take you through the first steps through. Also, there's things going on over there and then things going on over there. I think everyone and their mom is cutting their grass today. So if I am speaking from the diaphragm, that is why, because I'm also charging my mic. Anyway, we're gonna go through week 1, which talks about safety in your creation, figuring out where you don't feel safe in your creativity, and figuring out affirmations that will help you be more safe, and talking about just like how to get through the rough patches of finally feeling safe in something that has felt unsafe before. And what's funny about the week 1 of this being about safety, I started therapy a few weeks ago. Well, actually, month or so ago, and we're on the topic of attachment styles, whether it's secure or insecure. And I've learned that I have an insecure attachment style, and we're talking about having a earned secured attachment style. And one of the steps into getting an earned secured attachment style is finding your sense of safety. And I think it's just funny how a sense of safety is a topic coming up in my mental life, for my mental health and for my creative self. And I know that just is aligned. I'm really excited to see how I can work through it and learn more things about myself. For week 1, recovering a sense of safety, shadow artist. Shadow artist, which talks about how some creatives, instead of going toward the life path and the career or the artistic path they want to go on, instead of doing that, they'll find themselves in careers or life paths that are adjacent or under the umbrella of what they want to do. For instance, a painter who thinks they're not good enough to paint or has had traumatic things happen when it comes to their sense of expression or their just act of painting, they may find themselves being a seller for a famous artist, which is adjacent to the career that they want. And we do that, and we find ourselves in that realm because of the unsafety we found trying to do the creative expression in that career path. Again, I use painting, but it can be anything for your creative expression. For me, it's writing, talking, and singing. I'm just all around creative person, but what I really do love is writing and singing. And I found that with trying to heal some of the shadow behavior from discouragements in the past, that I'm finding the joy for those things again, and also finding the desire to do it more strongly. I talk myself into thinking that I don't want to do it or I can't do it because, again, of some of the bad things that have happened while I tried to pursue it in the past, mostly when I'm younger, which we talk about a lot of the traumatic stuff with our career path or with our desired artistic career path stemming from childhood. So that's shadow artist. And then the next section in that is protecting the artist child within, which goes back to a lot of the discouragements that we have for artistic paths coming from childhood, even teenagehood as well. We segued into core negative beliefs, which is generally about like you feeling inadequate and the comments that happen in your head that support that feeling even though it's not true. Julia Cameron gave examples like everyone will hate me, I will hurt my friends and family, I will go crazy, my lover will leave me, I will die. One of the ones is that I will find out I'm gay if I'm straight, I will be struck with straight if gay. These are just different examples that she put in here with the clients that she has worked with. Some of the core negative thoughts that come up when trying to get their inner artist, their child artist, out and about into the world. These thoughts sometimes feel like they protect us, but they really don't, and we have to get out of them. Which brings us to the part where we talk about negative beliefs and positive alternatives or affirmation. In this video, I want to talk about the positive affirmations that I've come up with myself and walk through the exercise in hopes that it will help you. And you can do it. You can also purchase this book and do it yourself, but if you don't want to and you want like Artist Way light, I'm your girl. At the end of week 1, recovering a sense of safety, Julia Cameron gives us tasks and we have to do each task. And there are 10 tasks for us to do this week. The first one is every morning set your clock 1/2 hour early to get up and write 3 pages of longhand stream of consciousness morning writing. These are called morning pages. It helps get the gook out right when you wake up, so it leaves room for your natural creative thoughts to just come up, and it's not bogged down by your core negative thoughts, your endless to-do list, or your random thoughts that you just wake up and are just at the front of your mind. It helps get that out of the way by just putting them somewhere. You also aren't supposed to read them or tell them to anyone else. The second one is take yourself on artist dates. Artist dates is when you spend time with yourself. Your partner, your friend, or anybody else can't come along with you. It's just for you. It doesn't have to be expensive. It could just be something that's like $5, like taking $5 and going to a store and getting like crazy fun toys or candy or something to connect with your child artist. So your artist date is something that we do once a week. The third task is time travel. List 3 old enemies of your creative self-worth. Please be as specific as possible in doing this exercise. Your historic monsters are the building blocks of your core negative beliefs. This is your monster hall of fame. More monsters will come to you as you work through your recovery. When working through negative self-talk, we find that the voice is ours, but it stemmed from not us. And so task 3 is to help us gauge where that comes from. So where that voice comes from. Because sometimes it is not us seeing the logical path for ourselves. It's that we have taken on eyes, we've taken on thoughts, and taken on behaviors of other people who have told us that our creative endeavors, our self-expression, our joy isn't important, that we're not good enough to do it, that it's stupid for us to do that. And maybe at some point, those monsters were trying to help you and protect you because they've also faced some crazy things. But that doesn't matter what their intentions were. It matters how it impacted you, and brings us here to help undo that, to get you back to playing or get you back to your creative expression. Task 4 is time travel again. Select and write out one horror story from your Monster Hall of Fame. You do not need to write long or much, but do jot down whatever details come back to you. The room you were in, the way people looked at you, the way you felt, and what your parents said or didn't say when you told them about it. It could have even also been your parent. Include whatever rankles you about the incident. Just reading that made me feel uneasy because like I don't want to go back to those places, but I think about them often. That's the thing. I think about those things often, like my original monsters or the original time that negative core belief started to take place. I think about it often, but it's not intentional. It's always that my mind slips to that unintentionally. So to intentionally sit with those stories and sit with those people is going to be pretty difficult. Can I do it? I'm not sure. Task number 5, write a letter to the editor in your defense. Mail it to yourself. It's great fun. Write a letter to the editor in your defense. To whom it may concern, Sister Ann Rita is a jerk and has big eyes and I can too spell. So basically, essentially, I believe that letter is what you would say back to that person if they were staying in front of you today, or if you can do it over today, which is actually a pretty good exercise. Task number 6 is time travel again. List 3 old champions of your creative self-worth. This is your hall of champions, those who wish you and your creativity well. So the opposite of task 3. Task 7, select and write out one happy piece of encouragement. So that's like task 4, but the opposite of the monster story or the horror story. It's the joyful story. 8, imaginary lives. If you had 5 other lives to lead, what would you do in each of them? I would be a pilot, a cowhand, a physicist, a psychic, a monk. You might be a scuba diver, a cop, a writer of children's books, a football player, a belly dancer, a painter, a performance artist, a history teacher, a healer, a coach, a scientist, a doctor, a Peace Corps worker. Any of those people that you can think of that you would have an alternative life path, 5 of them. Task number 9, in working with affirmations and blurts, which Julia Cameron talks about blurts being also those negative core thoughts that pop out when you're doing something. For example, if I say, oh, I'm so excited to go to the gym today, that won't work, you're still fat. That was a very true one. I'm gonna be. So that's a blurt. That's the unconscious thought that comes up immediately after you try to do something for yourself. In working with affirmations and blurts, very often injuries and monsters swim back to us. And these to add these to your list as they occur to you. Work with each blurt individually, turn each negative into an affirmative positive, and then task 10, take your artist for a walk. The 2 of you, a brisk 20-minute walk can dramatically alter consciousness. Those are the tasks that we have to work with this week. Most of them I would do off camera and share if I would like to. But for this video, we're gonna work on our affirmations and blurts and how to turn our negative blurts into positive affirmations. Because I read this before, I spent the last few days thinking about all the goals I have for myself, whether it be for my personal self as Crystal Lee or my channel or any other creative endeavors that I have planned. I spent some time sitting and thinking about them and taking note of anything negative that has come up against those goals or those thoughts, and I put them in my notes app. I'm going to walk through and write down the goals in my planner. All I did was first write them down in here, but I want to write them in my planner. I said planner, in my journal. I am walking through my own stuff. Obviously, I want you to do and walk through your own as well. So if you want to, grab a pen and grab a journal, and we're going to talk about our stuff. Feel free to put some stuff that comes up for you in the comments and what you have put as an affirmation to go against it if you feel like sharing. If not, then that's fine. I'm gonna lean back a bit and just be a little bit more cozy in my van while I write all this stuff. And I will be sharing you some 3 of my goals for myself that I truly don't mind sharing. So my first goal that I wrote down that I've truly been thinking about is how to grow this channel. I want to reach 100K. I'm at 3,210 subscribers as I'm recording this video, and so I guess I have quite a ways to go. The Trans Life community didn't start this year. It started 5 years ago with like my first ever YouTube channel, and I think the first YouTube video, and I think at that point I called it Chance at Life Mindset, and it changed from that to Crystal Lee's Chance. So I've been doing this for 5 years, and this is the first year I'm taking it more seriously and actually having goals for myself that are serious enough for me to feel negative thoughts to it. And my goal for this channel is to reach 100K, to build this community, to a group of people who are getting back to playing after some rough stuff in this life. I've talked about this before. The Chance at Life mindset is to know that life is a playground. The Chance at Life mindset is to know that life is a playground. You can have swings at your playground, you can have a slide at your playground, you can have anything at your playground, and the slide and the swing being all the hobbies and things that bring you joy in life. And on that playground, you may fall and bump your knee, i.e. you may have negative thoughts about it, or people have come in and been negative, or trauma. That is the equivalent of scraping your knee at a playground. But if you look around, you still have so much joy, you still have room to swing, you still have room to slide. There's still things in your playground that you can go back to enjoying after you have dealt with your scraped knee, or you can deal with it on the road of playing. But either way, it goes back to saying bad things happen in this life, but there are really some good things too. And so I want to be able to show people the balance of it all and the playfulness of it all, and then also give some peacefulness to somebody's chaotic day. That's what I want to do here. And in growing my channel, I want to hit 100K, but I also want the plaque because I have just a really pretty plaque. Another goal of mine is I want to travel just as much as I work. I do work full time, and I have 2 days off, and then we have holidays off, and we have 2 weeks throughout the year where we're closed for prepping from season to season. So I wrote down that I want to travel just as much as I work. It's never going to be like super balanced, but I want to prioritize myself just as much as I'm prioritizing a job that I work. And then another goal of mine that I've been working on for the past few weeks is putting more effort into my physical appearance. Not for anybody else but me. I've been enjoying doing my nails. I've always enjoyed doing my hair, and I want to add more makeup into my regimen because I miss working with just that kind of creative expression. I've noticed that when I do that, I feel more alive and more energized, and the energy of myself and the energy that I feel with that comes from like the inside, meaning like I feel good on the outside, and it impacts how I feel on the inside, which impacts anything that I'm bringing to the outside or I'm doing on the outside. It just makes me feel good, and I'm all for feeling good. That's what I've been thinking about for the past few days, and I have written down in my notes app all of the opposite feeling, the opposite feeling thoughts that came along with it, in no particular order because they've all come up against the same goals. The first one is I'm not ready for a bigger community because I can't manage my time. I don't always want to be social. What if everyone hates me after joining the community? I have nothing to offer. What if being myself gets me hurt or makes me a target? I don't have enough time. I'm not a consistent person. And then I put questions at the bottom that I'll go over in a second. Those are just a few of the things that came up. In addition to that, what came up when I was writing them down, especially that I want to work on my appearance. I spent a lot of my time in life telling myself that I don't need to do anything with my hair, my nails, my makeup, and that's simply because I wanted to be liked, especially by the male population who thought that women who did that or girls that did that were just too much. I tried to be less because I didn't want to be seen as too much. That I want to do too much and be too much, and I should just stick to one thing, which is already kind of something that I'm overcoming by doing Moody Mondays. But it doesn't mean that voice and those thoughts still aren't there. So, with that being said, let's figure out some affirmations for myself and yourself if you relate in any way to help us get through those negative thoughts. The first one is I'm not ready for a bigger community. I wrote that down because it is a fear. Like, I've only been dealing with 3,210 of you up until today, and there have been times where I feel like I'm not being that engaging. I don't really have much that people want to see, and also there's no one engaging that much with me, so like I truly don't know. And so when it comes to like dealing with community, I'll be dealing with more people and their desires and what they want to see, obviously, because if I also want to monetize it, I'm also going to be utilizing their money. What if I can't do that? Also coincides with I have nothing to offer, and what if people hate me? So I said let's start with one, but they're pretty much all together. So what's the bigger issue here? Like, what's the bigger overall like feeling, which is who I am isn't good enough. I also fear changing a lot of who I am to appease others, which to an extent is what YouTube is. It's creating stuff that people want to see, but I also don't want to lose me in doing that. So having a bigger community makes me fearful that I'll lose my autonomy when it comes to creating what I want to create. Because if I create something that I really truly like and it doesn't do well as something I created because somebody wanted me to, that definitely will impact me. I know it will, because it's like what I naturally want isn't wanted. So then that makes me do other things that other people want, abandoning myself. So that's what I'm feeling. So what affirmation can I work up to combat that? And I guess the question is, what is my intention with creating? And it goes back to wanting to be a place of peace and playfulness and get people back to playing. So what's the affirmation there? What's the affirmation to combat I'm not enough, I can't handle it, I don't want to be social, what if everyone hates me? Who I am, what I create, what I choose to create, and how I choose to create it is enough. Because my intention with wanting to do all this stems from a place of love, one for myself and for others as well. Because while writing this down, I was also like, there's no way. I've been through so much shit for nothing, and for me to be the alchemist of my own life and change all that shit into gold, and not become a victim and not turn hard and cold and wanting to say fuck the world, that's all a good thing. That's all a good thing. So my intention with Chance Out Life isn't stemming from ego or lack or being mean is stemming from the love that I've had for myself and what it looked like year after year after year, and how it has impacted me in a positive way, and me wanting to share that. So who I am, what I choose to create, and how I choose to create it is enough, whether it's 3,000 people or 100,000 people. And as long as I stay true to my intention, I will be enough. What if being myself gets me hurt or makes me a target? And that goes along with being seen by more people and wanting to put more effort into myself and how I look. Lord knows, we all know the saying of she lit up the room when she walked in is like the telltale sign that somebody about to get or be seen, or a targeted for negativity, or for other people who don't like that energy. We know what that looks like through true crime, but we also have felt it a lot when it comes to, oh, I tried to do this one thing and it brought me ridicule. I say we all. I was talking to me. If you relate to it, I'm sorry that you relate to it, and let's work through it. But if you don't relate to it, also freaking good. Whoop-de-doo. A lot of us probably have experiences where we try to be center stage or do something that put all eyes on us, and it didn't go so well, and that really stuck with us for a long time. I have. And so when it comes to what if being myself gets me hurt or makes me a target, I have been the target of ridicule because I tried to do something different. Being in the spotlight has definitely made me feel like a target and feel like out of community, and I don't want anyone to feel like that, and I want not to feel like that either. So being seen could definitely be a scary thing, because you're not seen through who you are. You're seen through the lens of the person who's looking at you, through their insecurities, through their limiting beliefs, through their negative core beliefs. Again, probably from someone else, but that is not a you problem to deal with. It is a them problem. What you deal with is how you take it and go forward. So what affirmation can I come up with to help with being scared to be seen or be a target? Honestly, the people who get it, get it. The people who don't. I am okay being not okay. It's not just about being okay, it's about being safe. I am safe to be seen. I am safe to be seen even if I am misunderstood. Because isn't that all that is? I am safe to be seen even if I am misunderstood. I am safe to be seen even if I feel like that's a weird sentence in general. It is safe for me to be seen. I am safe being seen. But it feels good, it just sounds off. It feels good, it just sounds off. Okay. I am safe to be seen even if I am misunderstood. I feel like I need a little bit more though when it comes to like the target stuff. Even if I stand apart from the crowd. I am safe to be seen even if I am misunderstood, even if I stand apart from the crowd. I think another thing I'm going to do is when I am being myself, when I am being my authentic self, it helps my community find me. When I am being my authentic self, it helps my community find me. They see me. I don't have enough time, and I'm not a consistent person. They started mowing the lawn again, so if you hear it, whoop, I don't have enough time. Are they getting closer? One of the things that I've been telling myself is that everything can happen as quickly or as slowly as you want it, which kind of puts the onus on time back on me. But I'm not sure if that's an affirmation or just like I am good at making time for my goals, for myself. I am good at making the time for my creative goals and pursuits. So for the I don't have enough time, I'm not a consistent person, I am good at making the time for my creative goals and pursuits, scheduling myself properly, and prioritizing what brings me joy. Let's go over the 4 that I have that I really like, and it covers all of the negative blurts or negative core values that I deal with. Who I am, what I choose to create, and how I choose to create it is enough. I am safe to be seen even if I am misunderstood, even if I stand apart from the crowd. When I am being my authentic self, it helps my community find me. And I am good at making the time for my creative goals and pursuits. Those are the affirmations that I'll be writing in my journal along with my daily morning pages. Right after I do the conscious dump, I will write those down. Do I repeat them over and over again or just write them once? I don't know. I'll figure it out I guess in the moment, but I guess writing them once is fine. There's no rule in the book to say how many times you have to write them, because I don't think. This week, please be sure to work with your affirmations of choice and your blurts at the end of each day's morning pages. Convert all blurts into positive affirmations. So I guess it's an ongoing thing. If there's a new blurt, then there should be a new affirmation. But I guess those would be my core affirmations, and I actually really love them. So I'll write them down in my journal after the morning pages are done. A question that I posed to myself while writing this is, what environment were you in? Because here's the thing. I've tried this before. I've tried positive thinking. I've tried affirmations. I've tried doing the artist way before. I tried really getting into my head to like make all those negative things go away. And one of, I guess, the blurts is, you tried this before, it's not going to work. Don't have an affirmation for that. I probably could create one, but instead of creating an affirmation, I wrote down 2 questions. It's, what environment were you in when you tried it last time, or all the times before that? And who were you? Basically, who was I when I tried? Who I am right now is not who I was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's not who I was when I first tried the artist way. It's not who I was the 5 different times I tried doing affirmations. I can say that I'm definitely in a better place and working through that, but that doesn't necessarily eliminate the fact that I could just stop this and abandon it like I've abandoned it before. The question, what environment were you in, is I had a lot more people around me consistently limiting what I can do, what I can say, and how I feel. And I've been doing a great job of eliminating those people, because it's not just enough to say, I am good enough. You have to make it reflect in the groups you hang out with, and the job you have, in the places that you choose to be around. And so I can say that the people I have around me today and the environments that I have around me today help support what I'm trying to do now more than it has in the past. And I do think I'm strong enough now to eliminate those things if they come up in my purview, and choose myself over and over again. And when we're living a life of playfulness and trying to get back to play, it's a consistent act of choosing yourself over and over and over and over again. And that has brought me to being 31 years old and still trying to reach in and grab my child by the hand and be like, it's us now. We got each other. Like, I got you. And it hasn't been that way. And I'm very happy that I continue to try and try and try and try again. Very much like the scene at the almost the end of the Haunted Mansion, when the dad got kicked out of the house while the mom is being possessed by like an old spirit, and he tries to get into the house by breaking the window, and he just gives up. And then the crystal ball with the psychic inside rolls over to him, and she was like, are you done? And he's like, I tried. And she's like, try and try and try again, fail again, try again, and so, or something like that. It's not just one time you reach for the stars and that's your only opportunity to fucking touch them. It's the ability to keep trying and realizing when you're getting closer and closer and closer. Because it's not just you doing it one time and being okay. It's not just you touching them one time and being okay. It's a consistency of choosing yourself over and over and over again. And I hope I got that as clear as day. That is the end of me talking about the first week of The Artist Way. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, please let me know in the comments down below. I really just want to know, and I want to share this community with people. I want to talk to you guys a lot more. So please just share it below. You are seen, you are loved here, and I want this to be a space where you feel that. So if you want to and you feel called to, put it down below. If not, keep it to yourself and just be really, really, really proud of yourself for even writing and doing something that brings positivity into your life. That is it for this video. I love you. I am grateful for you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.